Have you ever heard the saying, if the axe is dull and one does not sharpen the edge, then he must use more strength, but wisdom brings success. That comes out of Ecclesiastes 10:10, and I really love that because many times as faith-based leaders, mothers, nurturers, women in leadership, we don't think about the amount of strength and skill it takes to do what we do every day. I want you to celebrate the fact that you're a woman, and in the month of May, we're going to be celebrating National Women's Day. We're not there yet, so don't get too excited, but why not celebrate you now? It takes a lot of strength to be a mother. It takes a lot of strength to really be a person of character. It takes a lot of strength, even in the world of ministry, to be a female minister. There's a level of respect that goes to men that a woman just doesn't get. The same thing for the corporate world. It takes a lot of strength, character, and integrity to be a woman who is a CEO, a business owner, or holding a high leadership position, especially when you're leading men. Not saying that we don't appreciate men, but it seems like at times it's just not fair play for the woman. However, I've created a safe space in Ignition Mode Life Solutions, a place where women called to lead can find their purpose in a safe and healthy environment and be able to advance their goals. And so we want to talk about developing your strengths as a leader or one who is called to lead. As a matter of fact, whether you're a teacher, whether you lead children, whatever sphere, a mother, you are born to lead. And so if you believe that God has called you to the forefront and called you to leadership, there's a need to work on your strengths, to develop your strengths. And so one of the keys to building strengths is practice. Think about a famous basketball player, a cricketer. What makes that person different? What sets the bar in terms of excellence is the amount of time that that person takes honing their skill. We saw it right there in Ecclesiastes. It says, when the axe is dull, it's going to take more effort. But if we spend time strengthening our skill and sharpening our skill, it's going to almost come to a point where it's effortless. And so we want to think about practice, practice, practice. What is it that you really desire to do or need to become better at? It's going to take some time practicing. Maybe just time management. Maybe it's just making sure every Tuesday morning the grocery list is up on the refrigerator so you don't have to stress and worry what you need on your way home because you can just pull it up on your phone. Maybe it's just writing down your 3 main goals every day. You want to work on things that is going to help you to develop as a person overall. So when we work on building our strengths, we can transform a weakness into a strength just by practicing. Any weakness can be turned into a strength. Think about a person that may feel timid to speak or read publicly. If that person continues to practice behind the scenes, then you would find your confidence begins to grow in that area. And that's what we want to do. I'm going to share some tips with you to help you enhance your life by growing your repertoire of talents and skills. So first, grab a pen or paper or go to the notes section on your phone. I'm going to give you a minute to do that. All right. Now that you've done that, let's get ready typing or writing because we want it to stick. We want to be able to look back at this if you're serious about making change. All right. So talents and skills. You can take a piece of paper and part it down in the middle. List your strengths on one side of that paper. List your weaknesses on the other side of that paper. I want you, as a matter of fact, to draw a cross in the center of it so you have 4 sections. This is something that I learned in business management training. You can take that, it's called a SWOT analysis. And what I did was took that corporate concept and created a personal SWOT analysis. And so in order to identify your strengths in a company, you want to be able to know what's the strength of the company. You're doing it on a personal level now. What is your strength? List it out on the left side of that paper. All right. So I'm going to talk slowly to give you time to do that. Think about your 3 main strengths. What is your weaknesses on the other side of that paper? Think about the 3 biggest flaws or weaknesses you have. It may be procrastination. It may be not keeping your word. It may be inconsistency. What is that weakness? Anxiety, fear. What is that weakness that keeps you back and limits you from reaching your goals? Then at the left bottom of that paper, so you have the top left, your strengths, the right, your weaknesses. Now we're going to the bottom left. What are the opportunities that are before you right now? Some opportunities that you have. Is it an opportunity to get married? An opportunity to get a promotion? An opportunity to start a new business? An opportunity to work on your health? Think about what are the opportunities that are before you, things that you can work on and accomplish. And now I want you on the final corner, which is on the bottom right. What are your threats? What are the things that stand to oppose the things that you desire to do and to accomplish? Are there internal obstacles or are they external obstacles? Think about that for a moment. So now you've listed your 3 strengths. You've listed your 3 weaknesses. You've listed any opportunities that you think you may have for change. And now you're listing what are the threats? What is going to oppose you? Is it the way you think? What is those challenges? Is it going to be time? Is going to pose a threat? Think about what the threat is. And so write it down. And so now there you go. You have your personal SWOT analysis. You're very clear what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, the opportunities that are before you, and the things that may pose a threat as you go forward to defy the odds. So now that you've done that, stick that somewhere that you can look at it and you can keep working on it. But let's just jump into these tips that will help you enhance your life as you work on developing your talents and your skills. All right. So when you want to develop your strengths, one of the main place, or the first place I would recommend to go as a ministry leader, I would say go to the source of your strength, because inner strength can only be found in a greater source than ourselves. If you have nothing to fall on, if you have nothing to stand on, then there's nothing at all. And so you want to focus on praying, daily praying, setting a time that you would pray. And I would encourage you, set 6 in the morning or 10 in the night, so that you know if you didn't get up and spend that quality time in prayer in the morning, for some reason, you don't have to feel guilty all day. You can go through the day, saying a little breath prayer here and there, but you want to get to that place of quietness before your Maker, sharing your heart and telling Him the things that you need, the things that are weaknesses, the things that are threats, praying about your plans, praying about His direction in your life. So you want to do that because it's going to help you to gain focus. It's going to help you to have energy to go forward. It's going to help you to know that you're connected to your source of strength. The next thing you want to do, you want to spend time, and I know I mentioned this before, visualization. That's something I love to do. Sit and think about the future. Think about the future in a hopeful and expectant way. Don't visualize getting sick. Of course not. Don't visualize losing your job. That's not going to help. You want to visualize, where do you see yourself at the end of the year or the next 6 months? How can you make small changes to have better health by that time? Where do you see yourself in terms of working on some small goal? Maybe it's just a conquering fear in the next 6 months. So if you want to visualize that, just write it down. Another thing you can do is visualize areas that you're already successful. Like for me, I have a weight goal that is before me, but I'm already successful because I've already lost 29 pounds. And so that gives me the confidence to keep going forward on my goal. Am I working on it right now? I should say that I'm ashamed. But I plan to really, really soon get back because I have a track record that I've accomplished this goal. And so you want to enjoy your visions with all your senses. At times, I just beat up on myself and I'm saying, you should be working harder. You should lose some more weight. Why are you not getting up and working out consistently? But I say, you know what? Give yourself some grace. You've accomplished all this. Take up where you left off. You can do this. If you've accomplished all of that, you can do this. You've got this. And so you want to be positive in building. You want to be that self-motivator. You want to be your number one cheerleader. We don't need to beat ourselves up because life has enough of that. But at the same time, we don't want to get too comfortable that we're not moving. So visualize your success that you've already made and then enjoy looking back at the success. But press, my friend, press, because there's a goal to be accomplished. Find your passions and work on developing your strengths that are related to those passions. So you like singing, find a place, acquire a vocal training course or something that would help you to develop that skill, that you can continue to use that skill, and it may just bring you joy. Maybe you want to sing in the choir in church, or maybe you want to do a solo of a song that you really love, but you're not doing it because you feel lack of confidence. But if you take time to develop your strengths because you love that, then you can find real joy in expressing that desire and fulfillment as well. All right, you want to have a plan to work on the strengths that are most important to you. Remember, we already outlined those strengths in your personal SWOT analysis. So you have some ammunition, you have some arsenal to work with, my friend. All right, so make a plan based on the strengths that are most important to you. All right, then you want to start setting some goals. And I'll say, don't set more than 3 goals. 3 goals. Just find 3 main goals for developing your strength and review them daily. So I shared with you, if you want to have weight loss, let's take that for an example. How was I able to accomplish weight loss and all of those, and losing all of those pounds? What I did was, there were certain foods that would not be my go-to. So you would not find me having an entire bag of chips. Is it that chips is not allowed? Yes, definitely. But there's something on the packet saying serving size. So if I was to enjoy some chips, I'm not going to go over the serving size on that particular day or any given time. So you want to set goals so that whenever you're going to enjoy something, you want to say, I'm going to nourish my body. I'm going to drink enough water. I'm going to work out 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever a day. You have to set goals if you want to strengthen yourself or develop your strength in a particular area. So you find those goals for developing your strength and review them daily, my friend, daily. That's the key, because we can talk all these nice things now, but if we're not working on being consistent, it's going to just fall apart. All right. Then you want to, there's something called SMART goals in business as well. So you want to set those goals and you want them to be very smart. S, you want to make sure those goals are specific. M, you want to make sure that those goals are measurable. All right. So you want to make sure and do that. And then you want to make sure that those goals are attainable as well. You don't want to say, I want to set a goal by next week to climb the mountain, but you can't even walk 30 minutes brisk walking. So we want to make sure that those goals are attainable. And we also want to make sure, I think I left out reasonable. So SMART, measurable, reasonable, right? Attainable and reasonable. Yes, it was in the right order. So you want to make sure that those goals are reasonable. So you want to set SMART goals and hold yourself accountable by looking back at this and paying attention. Maybe you need to purchase yourself a journal, and I believe I will drop the link for you. I have recently, over the Christmas season of 2023, published a goals journal. So I want you to click on that link and you'll be able to go to Amazon and purchase yourself that journal so that you can use that journal to really write your goals, write your plans, and there are some things in there that will give you some personal inspiration and motivation as well. All right, so you want to make sure that you replace negative self-talk. That's a big one, especially for us women. We have all these internal conversations with ourselves. Sometimes we say, I overshare, I trust people too much, I'm too open, and we beat up on ourselves. But we have to learn to operate with wisdom and say, what am I going to do better? This is a weakness. How am I going to approach this weakness? We need to have a plan because we need to protect ourselves. We need to respect ourselves. All right. So you want to replace this negative with like positive statements and affirmations. You want to affirm your strengths. So when you feel like, okay, I am so weak in the area of consistency, I never finished anything, I always procrastinate. Now you got to see, I have now written out my personal SWOT analysis. I'm no longer going to continue procrastinating. I'm going to draw this up. I'm going to post it up on my wall somewhere. And I'm going to keep working at my weaknesses. I'm going to keep working on developing my strengths. As a matter of fact, I decided a long time ago, I'm going to put more emphasis on my strengths and I'm going to work on my weaknesses. But my strengths are what I want to focus on more. All right? So you want to also measure your progress. So a month from now, you want to look back to see, is there any progress? Am I really doing this? Am I really committed? And if you see no progress a month from now, a week from now, you know what you got to do. Go back to the beginning, start over again as many times as you need to. There's a saying again, and I will always put reference to the Bible because the word has everything in it. It says, if you fall 70 times, 70 times, rise again. I'm paraphrasing. So there's never a moment when you need to feel sorry for yourself and feel, man, I busted it. Because you can always get up and go again. All right? And last but not least, if you really desire to be a person who will sharpen your skills and your talents and really find that place of developing your strengths, practice, practice, practice. Pray, pray, pray. So there you are, my friend. These are the tips I have for you today. You've got to do the homework I've shared with you, and we're all on this journey together. None of us has reached, but we're pressing towards the mark. God bless you.